Hello, everyone, and welcome to the space. So, I'm here on a Friday, ready to open up the space. And at the time that this is being recorded, this has just come after the news that Charlie Kirk has been assassinated. So I just did want to mention that because that energy is heavy, right? And so I'm not sure if that's what's going to be picked up here or what's going to be spoken about. Trying to remain as connected and grounded into the now as possible, which means this might be a video that is even slower than usual. Holding more space, more silence, more moments of spaciousness, which I do feel is necessary. So I've already had my iced coffee this morning, so I'm just going to have a hot cuppa. But I am going to put out an open invitation for you to grab a drink, get comfortable, and just have a moment of pause for whatever reason. If you need that space to just be with whatever is in the right now, to take some deep breaths if that feels good. And there's an effing fly in here, so fuck off. Yeah, anyway, I don't know what's going to be spoken to here. It's just going to be whatever. It would not surprise me if some of that energy seeps through into this. Some of the notes that were written was already kind of feeling that way, but I want to keep the space open. And I'm just feeling pain in the right hip. Which is the masculine aspect. This is irrespective of gender. This is just speaking to energy. So I'm just going to have a look. This is The Secret Language of the Body by Ina Segal. Let's see, right hip. There was a part that had the sides, I'm pretty sure. Am I thinking of a different book? While I'm doing this, please take a moment to take some deep breaths and ground into this energy. So 156, let's have a look. Okay, I'm just going to read what it says. I thought that this would speak to the different sides, but anyway, we're speaking to something to do on the masculine aspect, right? So it could be like actual masculines, so gender, could be people in power or some type of authority. So the book says family problems and disagreements. Who are you carrying on your hip? Feeling used, unappreciated, angry, betrayed, deceived, let down, shut down, alienated, experiencing strain, frustration, guilt, lack of support, too much responsibility, feeling unacknowledged, taken advantage of, manipulated. Interesting. So yeah, that might have to do with an actual person who is of a masculine nature, a biological nature or energy, or someone in a space of power, authority, and I'm feeling it again, and it ached on the authority. So I'm wondering if this is to do with masculine authority. I'm going to make a note of that. As I said, I'm aware that a lot of things might come through that is congruent with the energy at play. What did I say? Masculine authority. So there's that awareness. But again, just trying to keep it super neutral. And okay, I don't know why. I'm just gonna say this. I don't know why. It's come out of nowhere and it's very bizarre, but I'm gonna speak to it. The thought wave, I'm hungry, came out. Okay, well, was thought in the mind, but not actually. So it's that's really bizarre. I'm not quite sure what that's about. It might just be a random type of thought. Maybe someone watching this is hungry. I don't know. Or will be watching at the time of this. You might be flipping nose. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to just do what I do. And yeah, pick some cards and see what's up. Let's check out the overall energy. What is currently arising? Just seeing the card, the Maiden. This is about naivety. Okay. The Bardo. It's not ominous at all, is it? So this is about the void, the not knowing, the liminal space, the unknown, which right now at the time of this post is pretty much the energy at play in a general sense, as in we have no freaking clue what is what. No clue. And the thing about that is that it's not, even though I said the card itself is ominous, this uncertainty, this unknowing is not something to fear. I feel that that needs to be said. Because when we're in full surrender to self, or consciousness, God, universe, source, whatever you want to, however you phrase that, when we're in full surrender and quote unquote give up control, that can feel like a very scary thing to do, to completely release control. And when I speak to control in this context right now, I'm speaking to letting go of everything you knew to be true, or letting go of belief systems that you hold, attachments that you have, thoughts that arise. Okay, there's a transmission of really being a witness to those thoughts, and what that means is abiding in self, i.e. abiding in stillness, abiding in silence, abiding in the Bardo. Because we have this idea that we're in control, and I'm going to speak to something in a moment because it's popping in. We have this idea that we have control. We have no control of what happens. We have that perception that we do. It's still perceived. But we have no control. Everything is predetermined. We might make choices here and there, but it's just going to change what the path looks like. It's not going to change the outcome. What we do and can, quote unquote, control is how we respond, how we react. And everything is, the word prefaced is being noted here, but I'm not sure where that's going. Where was that going? Not sure. Spaciousness. That's the core message here. Right now is to ground in spaciousness, in stillness, in the here and now. That's all that is, which is easier than it sounds. Harder than it sounds, right? So that thought that came through before is that in reference to a couple of videos back when we were talking about shifting consciousness, but also the podcast episode was talking about this shift in consciousness. I'm already seeing it online. I'm already seeing it. I'm seeing people that were very mind orientated, speaking and saying words that I personally haven't heard them utter, or there's just this shift, and I'm going to relate that to I don't really like using this word very much, but this awakening, and that's not to do with, it's not necessarily how does this want to be phrased? This is more a remembrance, a realization of self. If you can hear that, I do apologize. There's always something going on when I'm recording these videos. So it's just like, I live in a fairly quiet neighborhood, but it's just like, they just decide, okay, Candice is recording. I'm gonna make a hell of a racket to distract the shite out of her. But it just also speaks to, and this came through before, when I was trying to record and when I was writing the notes, and this has also been a kind of theme, you know, an undercurrent of this noise that's going on. I did write it in the notes, so maybe I'll read that to you. Yeah, noise, revving. The noise was coming from someone revving, but it was like they were trying to prove a point. And then senseless, egoic, irrational came out after that. So yeah, make of that what you will. But that has been a theme, this noise factor. External noise. So I will say, you know, I feel like everybody is going to be doing this anyway, so I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I feel like everyone may be, you know, going on their social media or going on the news or going on YouTube or whatever and just consuming all this content about what's happened. Just be mindful of that. Be really, really mindful. Let it not distract you from the present moment. And I'm saying that from personal experience. Yesterday was almost a complete fucking write-off for me. I had planned to do some studying, some assessments, planned to cook myself like a decent, wholesome lunch. I was going to record an audio anyway. This was before I knew what happened, obviously. Had gym and had TAFE. So, I mean, those two things were definitely done, the gym and the TAFE, because I had no option but to show up for that. But the rest of the day, it was just this complete, like, the word spiral is being projected. I'm not feeling that energy of a spiral. It's just speaking to how I just completely got lost in it. And what's presenting itself now is that for me in that moment was a form of, okay, interesting, because the emotion is now being felt, is a form of grief, a form of healing, a form of honoring even. So I'm just going to regulate in this moment. So, you know, it's not to say that, okay, and I'm just going to take a moment here. I'm not, the eyes have been teary as hell since yesterday, and it's caused some sort of reaction. So it's continuously tearing. There was a lot of grief. I wouldn't say in an intense way, just in a, how do I describe that? It takes a lot at this moment in time to make me angry. I mean, my kids know how to push my buttons. So I think that, you know, that's just reality. However, it does take a lot to make me angry with what's happening around the world, because I do practice being present always. I'm not always aware of it, but there is a devotion to practicing the here and now. So a lot doesn't bother me much. But there was anger yesterday. There was anger. Not feeling it today. But that whole process needed to happen. The, let's call it consumption of information, right? All of it. The good, the bad, the fucking ugly. And you'll know what I'm talking about. So as I said, I don't know where this is going, but yeah, I'm just going to speak to what is and what comes out. If you're in that process of that is the way that you're grieving, be very mindful of whatever that situation looks like, right? Whatever grief is looking like for you right now, however you navigate that, be grounded in your process is what I'm saying. Interesting little dot made by my pen. It's fascinating actually, because when I wrote some notes, there was this dotty thing. I was just holding the pen, and then there were these dots. I don't know, it could be nothing, but it came through the pages. So there's like a couple of dots on every single page. So it's almost like this energy that is going to keep moving through until it doesn't. So it's an awareness of the emotions may come and go, or whatever this dot is representing. I don't know yet. Yeah, I'm not too sure what that is representing at the moment. Nothing's coming through. But whatever that is this undercurrent, this movement of energy that will eventually dissipate, right? So it might come out as this big black spot, and that's so perfectly round, right? And even that one, like, look at that. So the top, sorry, this is the top's quite big, and then underneath is like a little dot, and I bet underneath that will be even smaller. So there's this thing, this is like frequency of something starting out really big and then just diminishing over time. So whatever that means, I have no freaking clue. I might just pull one more card from that deck, and then we'll see what else comes out. Don't know why I'm shuffling again. Already shuffled. It's almost like this, okay, interesting. Core. That's what the dot represents. The core. A core. The seed. Look at that. There's your dot right there. The seed. So seed's been planted, and then the other card that falls out is the gem. And it's a dot. It's a circle. It's, oh my hat. What does this mean? Please, in the comments, let me know if this is meaning anything to you, right? Like, okay. So prior to this video, there was another recording, but I felt like that needed to stop and I needed to start again. But in there was a visualization of the Empress card, right? And I was speaking to the Empress card in the, what is this deck? The Light Seers Tarot deck. Now I've put it back, which is annoying. So, okay, obviously this is coming out for a reason, but I'm just going to speak to this, and I can't believe I put it back in the deck. What a poop hole. Poop hole. Poop hole. And there's that circular, right? That dot, that circular thing. So that came out in the previous one, and that was talking about what was it talking about? Anyway, the reference was in regards to the circle, the core, the dot. Check this out. Bardo, seed, gem, and of course the cards. So what is this representation of this circular object? The seed, the gem. Oh, this is why I was talking about the Empress card, because of the seed. The Empress represents a birth of sorts, a nurturing of an idea, a new start, a new beginning, a project, a creation. And it starts with a seed. So the word thought is being presenting itself. So the seed, a thought, and then I'm hearing a thought wave. And as I said, right, it starts here and then diminishes over time. So I'm not sure if that is, yeah, it's interesting because if I'm holding up the cards the way I am, that small seed is right smack bang in the middle of these two other circles, right? But then even the seed card has this concentric circle, 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 circle. It's not a spiral, it is a circle. Okay, this is bizarre. So this thought's coming in, and let's speak to it, because I when things happen, when I see stuff, I'm like, I'm not going to speak to that, like, as in, this is what I saw on my walk today. It's more like if the thought comes while I'm recording, then I'll speak to it. Ugh, and the coffee's cold. Good job. Okay. So I was on my walk this morning. Okay, yesterday I went for, yesterday? No, I decided to sleep in yesterday. Wednesday I went for a walk. So this was prior to the event. Sorry, not prior to the event, prior to me hearing the news, because I'd only found out hours after that, a couple of hours after that. Went on a walk, and I'm living in Australia at the moment, and we have these like metal contraptions, metal boxes that have books in them. And they're open to the public, so you can put a book in, you can take a book out. It's like a book swap. And you can't really, if you're walking past it, you can't actually see the titles of the books unless they're like massive, right? Or you walk slow, or you stop and you look at it. Anyway, I was walking past, and I just glanced, and one of the books, I might actually see if I can pick it out and just have a look at it maybe over the weekend to see what it's about, because this is really interesting me now. But the word on the, what do you call that? The spine was ECLIPSE, like in big letters, ECLIPSE. And I was like, that's freaking interesting, because we just had one on the 7th of the 8th. And we're getting another one on the 22nd, 23rd of September. So that's 2 eclipses and a seed in between. I don't know. I'm just speaking to what's being seen here. Anyway, so I thought that's really interesting. Like, that's the only word I saw, and I was walking past it really fast, and that's what I saw. We've just had an eclipse. We've got another one coming. I was like, oh, this is a little bit ominous. Or not even ominous, but what's that other word? Auspicious. This is auspicious. So this morning I go on my walk again, and obviously I've seen it now, so I'm going to see it again. I walk past, well, I mean, someone could have taken the book, right, or shifted it or moved it, but it was in the exact same spot. And a little bit to the right of it was another book. And the words on the spine was hand to evil. Hand to evil. So I'm going to go and check those out, because it's curious, but the thought popped in, so I'm just going to speak to that right now. But it's interesting to me that all these connections are being made, well, from my perception anyway, right? This is always perception. But I do find it fascinating that these cards do look like a moon, a round object. So I'm just going to read some things from these cards. This is a new deck, but maybe something that is read might make more sense. I haven't really used, well, sorry, this is a new deck, so I haven't used it that often. So I'm still learning everything in it. So what do we have? We have the gem and the seed, which is, for me, yeah, I mean, I know I probably don't even need to speak to this or look at what the book says, but I'm really super curious as to Why can't I find this damn thing? Okay, there's the gem. So the gem, the diamond, the gold, the inner treasure. There are infinite names for the gem. It is also known as the jewel, the star, the talent, the gift, the gold. One thing for certain is that it is found deep within a substance that it is very much unlike it. For example, a diamond in the rough. That emotion, this is a real emotion, okay? This is my own emotion, I feel. The gem always stands in contrast to its surroundings. You can't find it when you are among comforts and pleasantries. Precious stones develop slowly deep in the earth amid pressure and darkness. Discovering the gem requires a descent beneath the surface where there is no infinite map. Yet the longing to touch the true gem within us is so strong that we cannot help but seek out its radiance. Your gem, like your destiny, is unlike any other in the entire world. Keep digging. I mean, that speaks for itself, if you know where I'm going with it, right? I did mention in the video, the podcast, that we are currently going through a spiritual warfare. And if you look at this card, right, it's almost these, this card reminds me, or this aspect of the card here reminds me of the underworld. And then, you know, you've got all this quote unquote darkness around it and this bright gem in the middle. And so this could be speaking to a whole bunch of things, right? This could be speaking to seeking the gem within, as in going within, really acknowledging self and who we really are, which is love, compassion, the now, the here. But it could also speak to that aspect of a diamond, you know, like it starts out this rough object, and then it needs to be buffered and shined and polished, cut even, before it can form this truly beautiful object, right? So let's look at the seed. So place that how you will, however that makes sense to you. Let's see if I'll find this card. I try to avoid looking at the, I don't know why, it would make life so much easier. Where are you? I would have thought the heart. 197. Okay. We have found it. Kind of. There's something, okay, energetically, there's something about trying to find something and taking a while to find it. And you can drop it as well, you know. So there's something about seeking, searching for, struggling with it, but eventually finding that motherfucker. Okay, so we've got the seed. Beginnings come. Did we not speak about beginnings with the Empress? Beginnings come in many forms. They are not always a beautiful seed placed intentionally in nourishing soil. Origin stories, like any birth story, are complex, surprising, multi-layered, and usually reveal a central image or detail that represents the fully formed being. Simply stated, the end is present in the beginning. The end is present in the beginning, or the entire oak tree resides within the acorn. Whether you follow this imaginal theory or not, know that when this card appears, there's potent generative energy all around. It stirs, I mean, yes, there's degenerate energy too. let's stay on track here. Potent generative energy all around. It stirs your very insides and usually results in an antsy, impatient feeling. Pay particular attention to what agitates you. This is interesting. I'll speak to this in a minute. As it is a pure sign of growth to come, you are bumping up against a growth edge. It is from the grit that the pearl eventually comes to be. Is that not very similar to what we've just spoken about with the gem card as well? So, speaking to, what was that? It was something that was said, and there was going to be something said about that. Oh, the agitation. So in the podcast, right? The podcast that was recorded. First of all, it is very rare if I've ever, like, I don't usually, in the spaces that are now present or the spaces that were created before, rarely ever spoke about worldly things, or as in things going on in the world, politics, all of that. In fact, I used to be very anti-politics not very long ago. And for some reason, after the news, I decided, well, okay, sorry, I should backtrack a bit. There was going to be an audio recording anyway for the podcast, because that's shifting direction. That is going to be audio only. It's going to be more intimate, sort of quote unquote behind the scenes-ish kind of vibe, just intimate riffing about whatever is current. Same as this, but no, you know, what I think that's the energy of that space is going to be a lot different to here. Not quite sure how to express it, so I'm just going to roll with that. Anyway, very rarely do I post about this stuff, but yesterday there was a deep need to do that, to speak to that. At the start, and I did get, as I said, a little angry, frustrated in the energy. That energy was being felt. But at the start, there was mention of, if something triggers you, really sit with that. Sit with it and ask yourself, why is this triggering me? Not taking it out on the world. Why is it triggering you? Because it's arising to you. You're the one perceiving it. You're the one that is seeing it through your own filter, right? Through your own narrative, your own perspective. And I'm just going to read something quickly, because this was mentioned in the notes. I was sitting in silence. That's how I meditate, just sitting silence. And when I mean silence, I'm talking about thought. The thoughts are observed and queried into. The word me came out, and I was like, me? As in like question mark. And I thought maybe it was initials like ME, but then the words ego, mind, right? Then I might read the rest of it and make of it what you will. Demonstration, destruction, relevancy. And then I was trying to write the words intricate, but I kept making a mistake. So intrigue wanted to be written. I'm like, no, that's not the word. Scratch it out. Intricate, casual, mistake. I'm not sure what that means, but that's what was written. Okay. So intricate. Yeah, so we were talking about triggering and how you need to be mindful of what triggers you, because you're the one that's perceiving it, right? So for example, the example that I used and what it was relating to was, you know, if you're watching or listening to the audio and something about it is triggering you in the space of the breaths that are taken, the slowness at which the voice was speaking, the pauses, rah, 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 that's arising to you. And I can speak to this personally because that used to shit. What? That used to irritate the shit out of me. The slowness, like how Eckhart Tolle used to speak really, still does, speak really slow. That used to trigger me, and I'm like, oh, I don't like this guy because he speaks too slow. Turns out it was arising to me. Yeah, I was getting irritated because the mind was way too freaking active to even slow down for a second, right? And I'm not saying that the mind is completely at level 0, if you will, but yeah, it's definitely a vast change from where it used to be. So this might be a message for, or, you know, a type of transmission of being aware of what is being activated in you and query into that for yourself. Try to avoid projecting that on others, right? Because most of the time it's got nothing to do with them. Whatever we see, whatever we perceive in our lives is an actual reflection back to us. So if something is affecting you in a way that is heightened, query into that, sit with that, be with it. I'm gonna pull some charms. Righto. So I'm seeing the Pegasus again, and that came through, that was the Gemini, Taurus, Scorpio video that was done. And so this is a mythological creature, Greek in nature, and I feel like there's a connection to Zeus. I could be wrong. I forget now what the aspect of this was. This Pegasus is a powerful image, right? It's a powerful figure. It's for some, a feared figure. There's some type of authoritative energy about this. Oh, not sure. And then we've got the anchor. So yeah, really anchoring into the here and the now moment. And my favorite, infinity symbol. This is a union of sorts. This is a union. When I see the symbol, this is perceived as the infinite, which we are, right? Presence, grace, self, but also that connection between everything, the oneness. So this is a reminder that despite the heaviness that we are currently going through, I do feel that these cards, particularly, actually all of them, are representing a new wave of thought. I'm going to use that word thought lightly, but a new way of being, of experiencing life, as we know it. I pull one more. Let's pull one for the seed. See if we can make any connections there. The bee. Community. Working together. Collaborating. So this is almost like what is going to start the seed, this, what was said before, the wave, the thought wave, something, it was something that effect. See, this is spoken in the now, so what was said 2 seconds ago is gone. There is something about working together that is going to bring about this change of thought, this seed of thought. I'm hearing seed of doubt, but I'm not resonating with that. Although that may be the energy, like this doubtful energy that we're in this stuck place. And to be honest, I was feeling that yesterday, like this hope, hopefulness. There was that, but also this hopes. What the F, man? Hopefulness. So yeah, it's like the language is wanting to be changed. Does that make sense? So I'm trying to, the words that are trying to be said is hopelessness, but it's being auto-corrected. Does that make sense? Like it's being almost like shifted. The seed is shifting. The wave, the frequency is shifting. And for that to happen in the way that it needs to happen, we're going to have to work together. We are going to have to work like bees do, work hard, focus, stay grounded, and put our metaphorical minds together and figure this out. Any cards that we want to finish with? I wasn't going to do a long one today, but anywho, it is what it is. There was also, maybe I might read some of these notes as well. There was also, there's something about, right, interesting. We've got water and earth on the split. The earth is in the reverse, so definitely a need to ground. There's a lot of emotion happening right now. I'll just show you these cards without the... There's a need to ground. There's a lot of emotion. And reflection that's happening. But I'm just going to mention this because I'm seeing these two cards put together. Is that what was said before about this Pegasus coming through? This was in the Taurus earth and the Scorpio water post. So I will put that, I will tag that in here as well because that might be relevant. Bro, okay, not gonna lie, this is freaking me out a little bit. So here's the air, so there's the Gemini, and here's the, okay, this is, I'm showing you how this is being represented. Here's your anchor, ground your shit, and then the new moon was popping up as well. So I might make a note of it and see what new moon is coming through next. It might even be the eclipse. I have no idea. I'm just going to make these notes. Earth. No, not that. New moon. New moon. So Anyway, let's shuffle these damn cards. But yeah, there's something about that message as well. And actually from memory, it was to do with relationships, friendships, love. I think love came out of that as well. Not as in, not relational love, but love as a concept. I'm just seeing that new moon again and the talisman. But what was going to be said before was, earlier on today I did see 12:12 on the clock, and today is the 12th of September at the time of this post, or the recording I should say. So yeah, this is gonna be a long one, but you know what? I hope that we are shifting to more long form kind of content, because, well, that came out as well actually in the notes. TikTok rot, that came through. And the reason that came through was because the word cancer was written down. Oh yeah, so even through the notes, water, and then Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, and then TikTok rot came through because I'd watched a recent video by the body language guy. I forget his name, maybe Jose or something. And he did not mince words in that video. He was talking about TikTok being a cancer. Okay, here again, we're seeing air and we're seeing divine masculine. Make of that what you will. What is going on with these cards? They just are jumpy. Okay, give us a couple more. Courage. Yeah. Courage. What else? Oh, it's a lot. Friendship. And I'm just going to take the top one, relief. But I'm also seeing the death card. This is more to do with I feel any death cards in this space, whenever we speak to it, is to do with of ideas, of concept, of limiting beliefs. And then again, we've got the air, and under that we've got the nature spirits. Okay, anyway, it goes on and on and on. But I do feel like it's going to be, this is a time for us to get together. And I did see a video where, you know, one of the people that were at the rally, if you will, was speaking to how everyone came, well, their group of people, they were making connections with complete strangers. They were taking each other's numbers, checking in on each other. That is the type of energy we need to move forward as a society. Courage. We're going to need to come together, right? And look at this friendship. It's like you can be two different types of arrows and still meet in the middle. And this is here as well. Two different types of energies meeting in the middle. There has to be, because I do feel like in general, anything that is not authentic, anything that is coming from a space of darkness, and I'm hearing that word, I'm just going to presence it, demonic energy, it is not going to survive. There's just too much light. It will freaking try though. It'll try. But guess what? We've got courage and we've got each other. And I mean, it's come through here too. There will be a union of sorts. So 3 times, okay? Did I not say 3 before? I said 3. Here we have this crossover of energies, and we also have it here. And not just that, there are 3 things here. So I'm hoping I'm wrong about things showing up in 3s, as in 3 traumatic, tragic events. I pray to God I'm wrong, although we've already had 2. One of them more predominant than the other, but anyway, I'm not going to speak to that or the other one. I hope that I'm wrong. I don't know if I am, because we've known for some time now that there were going to be a lot of changes in our society, changes in culture. A lot of things are going to be coming, or a lot of things, sorry, I should be speaking to present. A lot of things are surfacing or resurfacing. And it's just what's going to create that shift is how we respond to it. How we respond to it. And yeah, to stay focused. Let's see some of these. Yeah, some of these are really calling out the energy of what's happened. So I'll just see if there's anything else that can be spoken to. The first few words that were written down was sanctuary, rebuttal, and then clear chaos, which makes absolutely no sense, right? Like they're opposing, they're oxymorons. So, this was spoken to in that the previous video that was recorded about these 2, again, okay, it is coming through. There's 2 opposing energies coming together. Make of that what you will. And then this came through as well. You know what you got to do. Stop telling people what to do and what to believe. Yeah, just peace, calm, justified, question mark, turmoil, sadness, grief, woken up abruptly. So this may be speaking to a dramatic shift. And I haven't pulled any tarot, so you know, I'm not sure. Anyway, let's just cut the deck. I'm not going to shuffle. 9 of Swords, anxiety, grief, sadness. But then on the opposing side is this 10 of Cups, this happiness, contentment. So yeah, there's this almost dichotomous type of energy. And that was said in the previous recording. But abundantly clear and story. So there's some type of clarity as well. Yes, it will be cleared. Story will come out or be revealed. Transparency, vulnerability. Pay attention. Did we not speak about this? I completely forgot about the notes. Pay attention to unhealthy means of connection. Focus on the right. Focus on the left. What does that mean? And there's that ocean of the world. There was that reference to world again. And then at the end, time's up. So I feel like, yeah, we will figure this out. It will be figured out. All right, friends, I am going to leave it there. I've gone well past the time that I was going to do this for. Whatever. It is what it is. Thank you so much for being here. If you're still here listening to this, let me know in the comments below if any of this resonates. But other than that, please take care of yourselves and give yourself the space to process everything that's going on. Really ground. Where is that? Really ground in that energy. I don't know what I did with the other card. Really ground and anchor into the now moment, right? Always. Okay, my loves. Thank you so much again for being here. And I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.